I feel your striking is a lot better, your movement. You have a nice rhythm on your feet.
I can fix it in the win hotel, but
Yeah.
he come to me, he go like no, 2 meters.
Yeah, just hey.
He say respect, and he go.
Good. Yeah.
But when camera come, he's changed, you know.
We're going to talk about that, because what is he saying? Does he really believe that? Or is he starting to make excuses? Is he setting himself a little insurance policy?
Islam Makhachev recently appeared on Demetrius Johnson's podcast on his YouTube channel, where they spoke about the upcoming highly anticipated bout with Arman Tsarukyan at UFC 311. Demetrius Johnson highlighted that the X factor in the upcoming fight lies in the fact that both fighters possess excellent wrestling skills, and their previous bout was incredibly close. Speaking to Islam, Johnson noted that he feels Islam's striking has significantly improved, praising his movement and rhythm, which he described as fluid and well-timed.
Obviously, I feel that's going to be the X factor in this fight, is that your guys' wrestling is, I want to say it's equal, but the wrestling scramblings from the first time you guys fought was pretty intense, right? I feel your striking is a lot better, your movement. You have a nice rhythm on your feet. You throw the body kick. He likes to circle because you're southpaw, super wide.
Demetrius Johnson inquired about Islam Makhachev's thoughts on the upcoming rematch with Arman Tsarukyan. Islam responded by reflecting on their first encounter, admitting that he had underestimated Arman then. He explained that Tsarukyan was relatively lesser known during their initial bout, so Islam wasn't fully prepared for the level of challenge Arman brought to the octagon.
When I fought with him first time, honestly, maybe I'm underestimate him, because I don't. This guy just. I saw him in UFC.
Yeah.
Because in the Russia, nobody want to come to Russia and fight with me.
In addition, Islam shared that during the lead-up to their first bout, finding an opponent for him in Russia was a significant challenge, as no one wanted to face him. He revealed that only a month before the fight, the UFC informed him that he would be competing against Arman Tsarukyan, a fighter with a strong record. At the time, Islam admitted he wondered who this opponent could be, and doubted that anyone in the division could pose a serious challenge to him. He stated, "In my mind, who is going to come like this out from UFC and give me a hard time."
He went in the Russia, it was in Russia, and they're looking for some opponent, you know, for me. And like before 1 month, they call me, we will sign some guy, he have good records, he's gonna be your next opponent. And in my mind, I think who is gonna come like out and from UFC and give me like
A hard time in wrestling.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev admitted that he hadn't watched any of Arman Tsarukyan's fights prior to the matchup, but described their bout as a very good and competitive one. Reflecting on their previous encounter, Makhachev claimed he won all 3 5-minute rounds. However, he also acknowledged that Tsarukyan has gained more experience since then and has shown noticeable improvement in his skills.
I don't watch his fighting, you know. He come and we have very good fights. I won all 3 rounds. But right now, he improved a lot, of course. He have more experience in UFC, he have a lot of fight in UFC.
Islam Makhachev expressed confidence in his abilities when discussing Arman Tsarukyan, acknowledging that while Arman may be a skilled fighter with impressive wrestling and striking capabilities, Makhachev believes he possesses all those qualities and more. Despite his confidence, Makhachev admitted that the upcoming rematch would be a challenging fight, reflecting his respect for Arman's abilities and growth as a competitor. He added, "I see his style, I see his skills, I do not see something that make me surprised."
I have same, I have better than him. He have striking, I have better than him. He have grappling, I know my grappling is better. But this time, it's not gonna be easy match for sure, because he's a #1 right now.
Islam Makhachev acknowledged Arman Tsarukyan's position as the #1 contender in the division, highlighting the respect he has for his rival's accomplishments. Makhachev stated that Tsarukyan's presence and growth in the division serve as a motivation for him to push himself every day in the gym. Makhachev stated, "We gonna wrestle, we gonna strike. It's gonna be a very good match for the MMA fans, you know, because it's a champion versus #1 contender."
He's a guy who make me work more hard because he's a real contender. He have good wrestling.
Demetrius Johnson questioned Islam Makhachev about his statement regarding giving opportunities to smaller fighters or those with little to no records.
I'm tired to give chance the small guys, you know. I need my second belt, you know.
Islam Makhachev responded to Demetrius Johnson's question by saying that no one can predict what the future holds, but he remains focused on his goals. He shared that he still has the same dream of becoming a double champion, emphasizing his ambition and drive to achieve greatness in the sport. He added, "Not make sense. Give the chance third time to some guy who come, okay, I beat Volkanovski twice. People still say you beat the small guy. He's not your weight division. If I beat Topuria, everybody gonna talk same."
I just have same dream.
Yeah.
I want to be double champs, and I just will waiting for my chance.
Islam Makhachev stated that his ultimate legacy in MMA would be to move up a division and capture a second championship belt. He believes achieving this milestone would solidify his place among the sport's greatest fighters. Islam's ambition to become a double champion reflects his desire to push boundaries and leave an enduring mark on the sport.
If I
Go up.
go up, takes a second belt, this is a legacy.
Yeah.
I want to be like you know.
Demetrius Johnson pointed out that Islam Makhachev has seen fighters like Khabib Nurmagomedov and Johnson himself retire at the peak of their careers. He then asked Islam when he expected to retire. Islam responded by saying that, in his view, retirement is not about breaking records or reaching a certain age. Instead, he believes the decision to retire will come when he no longer has the strength or ability to train and keep up with younger fighters in the gym, choosing to step away only when he feels he can no longer meet those expectations. He added, "Right now, it's not the time to talk about this because I know I can do more."
My opinion, it's not like records, it's not like age. My opinion, it's I go to the gym and I told you, the all kids want to show something to me.
Yeah.
And when I understand I cannot stop the people, I cannot like compete with the
younger guys.
young guys, and I'm thinking about it, but right now it's not time to talk about it.
Islam Makhachev shared with Demetrius Johnson that the first sport he ever trained for was combat sambo. He explained that during his time training in Russia, combat sambo required him to fight frequently, as it was a highly competitive and physically demanding discipline. Islam credited those experiences for building his foundational skills and toughness, which have been integral to his success in MMA.
It's very really hard sports, because some of the day you can make 7 fights.
You have 7 fights in one day.
Yes.
So it's a tournament.
Yeah, tournament like Russian championship, it's a lot, maybe 50 people
Yeah.
in your weight division.
Yeah.
When Demetrius Johnson inquired about the difference between regular sambo and combat sambo, Islam Makhachev explained that the key distinction lies in the inclusion of punches in combat sambo. However, Islam added that in combat sambo, striking only counts if it results in a knockout. Otherwise, striking doesn't contribute to scoring.
What if you do just pop, 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 and just
Not working.
nothing? Really?
No, if you knock him out, okay.
Oh, okay. But you no points unless you
points.
knock him out.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Johnson questioned why there is often so much drama surrounding Islam Makhachev, his brothers, and his team in the MMA world, implying the bottle-throwing event with Nate Diaz and his team, especially when these fighters are genuinely kind-hearted and welcoming individuals. Islam recalled the instance where Dana White called him a troublemaker, to which he defended himself by pointing out that it was Nate who started the conflict.
I think people feel that there's always drama that follow you guys, right? Recently, you're at the weigh-ins. You and Nate Diaz start throwing water balls back and forth.
And next day they put me inside, like close to the cage. I sit with Dana, and Dana come to me and say, "You are troublemaker." I say, "Hey, Dana, it's not my fault."
Yeah.
We sit before the fight day.
Yeah.
Islam Makhachev responded to Demetrius Johnson by explaining that fighters like Nate Diaz are often the ones who cause drama and give the fighters of the sport a bad reputation. Makhachev further explained that during that particular incident, a member of his team was wearing a mask, and Nate Diaz mistakenly thought it was Khabib Nurmagomedov. Nate started to show the middle finger to their team, and wanting to show off or confront Khabib caused the situation by pulling a stunt that led to the drama. Islam added, "You know what's interesting? Maybe 5-6 months ago, I met him in the elevator in the Wynn Hotel in Las Vegas. He goes to cross to me and says, 'Respect, respect, respect,' and just walked. But what changed now? When a lot of cameras come, people change."
We sit and Diaz start to show them
Your middle finger.
yeah. For what?
Yeah.
Maybe for someone it's good, no problem, but it's not our style.
Yeah.
Because one of the guy, he wear the mask, Maybe he's sick a little bit, he wear the mask, and maybe Diaz thinking, oh, it's Khabib, and show him, you know.
So somebody from your team had a mask on.
Islam Makhachev mentioned that if there had truly been an issue with Nate Diaz, he would have handled it at the Wynn Hotel, where they both were. He expressed surprise when Nate, who had previously shown nothing but respect for Islam, suddenly pulled the stunt. Islam emphasized that when cameras are around, people often change their behavior, which is why he found Nate's actions out of character. This reflects Makhachev's belief that some fighters act differently in front of the media, possibly for the sake of drama or attention.
If I have something with him, I can fix it in the Wynn Hotel. But he come to me, he go like 2 meters.
Yeah, but just hey.
He say respect, and he go.
Good.
But when camera come, he's changed, you know.
Now, when I watch, I'm like, you know, for me, I'm like, I got to make sure I'm good people.
Islam Makhachev expressed frustration over the misconception that he was the one who initiated the altercation with Nate Diaz. He explained that security intervened during the incident and attempted to remove his team from the arena. Islam defended his team, stating that they only retaliated and did not start the issue. He made it clear that if security insisted on removing his team, he would leave with them, standing by their side.
And like security coming, and they want to send my team, you know, from the arena. I say, hey, it's not the guys' fault, you know. They just see, they go cross and show them what it is. And they say, sorry, you guys have to leave. You have to stay, do interview, and your team have to leave.
Yeah,
I say, no, it's not working like this.
Yeah.
If they leave, I leave with them. And they cancel all interview.
Oh, they really did?
Moving on to some predictions and analysis from the industry, Michael Bisping expressed his belief that Islam Makhachev could solidify himself as the greatest lightweight fighter of all time. Bisping supported his statement by pointing out that historically, previous lightweight champions have defended the title 3 times before moving on. If Islam successfully defends his title against Arman Tsarukyan, it will mark his 4th title defense, surpassing this milestone. Bisping emphasized that such an achievement would further cement Islam's legacy in the division and history, calling it a testament to his dominance and skill.
Islam Makhachev going on to become the greatest lightweight fighter of all time. And that would be a fact according to the numbers. Of course, Islam Makhachev has defended the belt 3 times. So did Khabib Nurmagomedov. So did BJ Penn. So did Benson Henderson. 3 title defenses. That is the max. If Islam goes out there and beats Arman Tsarukyan, which Arman might think he will, just judging by what he said on his YouTube video, that will be 4 defenses, and he will be the greatest lightweight on planet Earth in the history of the sport.
Featherweight mixed martial artist Alex Hernandez described this matchup as one of the most thrilling in the lightweight division, adding that it's likely the most exciting fight to make. He acknowledged the difficulty in choosing between the 2 fighters, noting that Arman Tsarukyan gave Islam Makhachev the most competitive fight of his career. While Hernandez leans slightly toward Makhachev, he emphasized that both fighters have significant challenges ahead of them in this highly anticipated clash.
Yeah, that's an awesome fight. I mean, I think that's the most exciting fight to make. You can't just openly say Islam can't do it. So, and you know, Arman's his most competitive fight. The dude's an absolute monster. So they're both so tough. I'm gonna lean towards the champ, Islam, but yeah, Arman's a mother to beat. So these guys work cut out for him.
Alex Hernandez highlighted that what makes this fight particularly compelling is the belief that, at this moment, Arman Tsarukyan is the only fighter capable of defeating Islam Makhachev, largely due to their similar versatility. However, he also emphasized that Makhachev's chances of losing remain slim, given the unparalleled skill and expertise of his team. He added, if Arman doesn't do it, I don't really see who beats him.
Yeah, I think that's why it's such an exciting fight, because they're kind of similar in their versatility, but I think Islam's continue to improve all around and on his feet, and tactically they've got a real brilliant team.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to see him losing.
Dominic Cruz, the esteemed mixed martial artist, sports analyst, and commentator, praised both Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan for their exceptional physical conditioning and remarkable past performances. He expressed admiration for how well prepared both fighters are, describing their matchup as perfectly balanced and a testament to their skills. Cruz also commended the UFC matchmakers, noting that they are designing fights that present the toughest possible challenges for the reigning champion. He stated, "What matchmakers do is they find that style that is that for specifically the champion, and that is what Tsarukyan is for represents to Makhachev."
I just like it because Tsarukyan has looked so good and Makhachev has looked so good, but I think they're the perfect style matchup. The matchmakers know what they're doing. When you look at, they try to find the matchup that makes the worst sense for the champion.
Dominic Cruz analyzed the matchup between Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan as one of the toughest stylistic challenges Makhachev has faced. Cruz noted that Tsarukyan possesses the ability to match Makhachev's wrestling, effectively counter his takedowns, and potentially force a standing fight, a scenario neither fighter typically prefers. Cruz added that this fight has the potential to either neutralize their grappling strengths or deliver one of the greatest displays of combined wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Sambo ever witnessed in the octagon. He emphasized that regardless of the outcome, it is a win-win for MMA fans, promising an unforgettable clash of elite skills and strategies.
It's the toughest style. He can match the grappling, he can match the wrestling, he can match the takedowns, and now you're forced, maybe you're going to see a stand-up fight out of two guys who don't like to stand up. Does it cancel out? Or do you see one of the greatest combination of wrestling and jiu-jitsu, sambo essentially, mixed together all in one, and you see that? Like, either way, it's a win-win.
Former professional boxer and podcaster Brendan Schaub in his podcast spoke about UFC 311 with regards to Islam Makhachev. Brendan Schaub, when discussing the pound-for-pound rankings, stated that he evaluates a fighter's strength of schedule, emphasizing the significance of who they've beaten and how they've done it. Schaub pointed out that when examining Islam Makhachev's strength of schedule, especially compared to others in the top 5 pound-for-pound list, Makhachev has faced the easiest competition by far. He went on to say, "Islam is not my pound-for-pound number one."
Now, when it comes to pound for pound in your division, I look at strength of schedule. I look at who have you beat, how have you beat them. Islam's strength of schedule, when we're talking about, if you look at the pound for pound list, the top 5, has by far the easiest strength of schedule.
American mixed martial artist, commentator, and former UFC champion Daniel Cormier stated that he is particularly excited about this fight because it represented a tougher challenge for Islam Makhachev. Daniel Cormier emphasized that when Arman Tsarukyan and Islam Makhachev first fought, Tsarukyan presented a unique and difficult test.
So for me, I like the fight because it represented a tougher challenge for Islam at the time when they fought.
Yeah.
Granted, on 2 fight cards, Islam won 30-27. On 1, it was 29-28.
Daniel Cormier highlighted Islam Makhachev's dominance, noting his impressive finishes over top fighters like Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, and Alexander Volkanovski. Despite his success, Cormier pointed out the risk of high expectations, as opponents often seem to perform better than expected against him. Makhachev's record, including 4 consecutive decisive victories, speaks to his skill and dominance in the sport.
I believe that Makhachev falls victim to expectation. He's been so dominant that if you are able to compete with him in any way, it seems as though you did better. Bro, he shut Dustin out and submitted him. And the story was Dustin Poirier. I mean, this guy, Islam, has finished Charles, finished Volk twice, and then just finished Dustin Poirier in his last 4 fights.
Daniel states he's been watching these guys for years and admires both of them. He added, "I think these are the 2 best light heavyweights of the world." Daniel Cormier highlighted that both Islam Makhachev and Arman Tsarukyan have set themselves apart from the competition, emphasizing the rarity of 2 fighters progressing on such a parallel path. While Makhachev's performances have been outstanding, Cormier believes this fight will be the toughest challenge of his career, stating that unless Makhachev moves to a different weight class, this will be his biggest test.
I've watched these guys time and time again separate themselves. And when you separate yourselves, you have to find that equal. You just generally don't get it when 2 guys are kind of running parallel to each other. Makhachev has looked amazing, but I do believe this is the biggest and best fight for him, unless he was doing something different in another weight class.
While Islam is confident in his abilities, he acknowledges the significant challenge Tsarukyan presents, especially with his continued growth. This fight is not just a title defense for Islam, but a chance to solidify his legacy as the greatest lightweight of all time. The matchup promises to deliver an unforgettable display of wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Sambo, and will be a defining moment for both fighters' careers and the lightweight division. Fans are in for an exciting showdown at UFC 311. If you liked the video and want to stay updated with all the latest boxing content, give us a like to show support and subscribe to Boxism so you don't miss a beat. Stay tuned for more exciting updates and analysis.